A few days ago, someone I know called me and asked me about the rapture that was supposed to happen on September 26th. Uh, I am recording this on the 30th. Today's the 30th. And I can't speak for those predictions, but something is disappearing. Not from the planet, but in people. Something is happening right now that most people don't realize, but you can feel it wherever you are. Something has shifted. People all over the world are waking up and disappearing from the life they once lived. And the world, as it's shifting and becoming more noisier, the wars, and I sense that there is more wars in the near future, and there's so many low vibrational movements. There are people moving in low vibration, a lower consciousness. But amidst all of that, something even greater is awakening within us. It's like your soul is not only stepping back from the noise, but it's being prepared in a way. That conversation I had woke something up in me. And today's a rainy day. I was at the gym and it sparked something in me. And these are my reflection. You know, awakening starts by pulling you within. It draws you inward. And that's what the truth does. It shifts how you see everything. The change happens within, and then your perspective changes. What you once knew, what you once saw as being something real, you recognize that it's not real. The noise around you, the crowd, the expectations, the pressure to perform, to keep up, it all starts to feel off, exhausting in a way. Your level of consciousness begins to rise as you wake up. You're still moving through life, but something inside of us is pulling back because now you're seeing what's real and what is not. Now you're seeing the truth. You're present, but you're disappearing from the world you once knew. The deeper aspect of this is not just about changing or improving our lives, but it's how you see everything now. We're no longer feeding what used to feed on us. We spend so much of our lives trying to be seen, trying to belong. We want approval. But when you start to wake up, belonging to yourself becomes more important than being understood by anyone else. And that's when the shift begins. The distraction that used to hold our attention, you start to lose the desires for them. The things that used to excite us feels meaningless. You don't even decide to stop showing up in certain spaces. You just don't have the appetite to do so anymore. And this is not about escaping or avoiding out of fear, but you're being pulled away from all of that. Now, I'm not really confined to spiritual and religious terminology. I use them, but I'm not confined by them. I'm not defined by them in a way. I just listen to my soul. Now, in the spiritual community, I've heard them say this ascension happens in awakening. And even in Christianity, this might speak to a certain kind of rapture where one disappears. But if you look from a deeper awareness, this is happening ever so gently as people are waking up. You start seeing through all of it, through the noise, through the pretentious ways, through the performance. And this is not coming from a place of arrogance or judgment. It's not that you suddenly think you're better. You just feel different because you can see it now. You can see it, you can feel it. And you can't unsee it and you can't unfeel it, if that makes sense. Most of what society offers starts losing, it starts to lose meaning. And that is the disappearing I'm referring to. You're disappearing from the chaos and the division, but you're being pulled inward, back to presence, back home to yourself. And some of us don't prefer crowded spaces. Some prefer a life of solitude. I don't remember when it started for me. I just know I never liked crowded spaces because back then maybe it was just out of fear. But this is different. You're not running or hiding. You're coming back home to yourself, to the truth of who you are. Especially for those that are sensitive souls. And what I mean by that is you've become so sensitive to life through your experiences. As you wake up, you soften. You become more sensitive to energy. Your spirit becomes more sensitive to noise. And when I say noise, is movement, not loud noises, movements of the world. You become sensitive to it. It's a call within. It feels like you're being taken out of the world so the world can be taken out of you. You know, all those patterns and conditionings we've absorbed from the world, that's being taken out, but you're being pulled away from it. Maybe you're listening and this is happening to you right now, but you don't have the words for it or you don't know what to call it. It was like this for me. But it was more important for me to follow my soul. That was what was most important for me during my process, and even now, even right now, in the present moment, there's just this urge to get quiet, to stop doing for a while, and just be. You start losing interest in those meaningless conversations. Maybe the spaces you're in right now feels off and you feel an urge to move. Something is pulling you away from where you currently are. Your tolerance for anything that doesn't feed your soul starts to drop. And this is not out of bitterness, but because you're honoring your own soul now. You're no longer following the crowd or the noise. You're honoring your soul. It's a gentle disappearing, a pull. It pulls you away from everything. And so little by little, the things you used to do, it feels empty now. Even the community you once felt a part of, you start feeling out of place. And that's the loneliness of awakening, but truly nothing is missing. Nothing is missing. It feels lonely because it's unfamiliar. This path that you're on, the path less traveled, maybe. It feels lonely, but nothing is truly missing. When people speak about or refer to loneliness, most of the time they're referring to what is missing. This loneliness that I'm referring to is the discomfort of what is unfamiliar to us. But your peace does not need a crowd. Peace is still. It's remembered in the stillness. The call or the urge to separate is to remember this, to remember the original self. Most of the time, in common language, people say, I want to be my authentic self. You don't have to be your authentic self, you just have to remember it. The world taught us to perform, to please, to keep moving. But what was there before? It might not even feel like what you're experiencing is an awakening, but you know something has shifted. Something is changing. And the things that you were drawn to before, they're losing meaning to you now. And you're wondering if you're just lonely. And yes, the silence will feel strange at first. It did for me. Because now the distractions are gone. So the mind goes into overthinking. Just the thoughts are coming. Some of us are afraid of our own silence because you don't want to overthink. The ego starts, or the old version of you starts to panic because it doesn't know how to survive this kind of quiet, how to survive this kind of withdrawal. But keep sitting in it. Keep sitting in it. Because the more you stay in that silence, the more inner peace you find. In a world that is on fire, that's chaotic. And the empty feelings of this stage becomes your refuge, your hiding place, your sanctuary, home. And the real you begins to appear. This can also be your rapture, where you are pulled out of the world and the old you starts disappearing from now. So when the death of the body comes, that has already died. I hope that wasn't too much for you. when it's time to really truly ascend. It's like a transfiguration when it's time to really ascend. All of what we've pulled in from the world will be gone. This is where I'm sitting right now in my journey, and I'm being present with this. Disappear to appear. So if you find yourself disappearing, vanishing from the world, you feel a pull that's pulling you away from all of it. If you're feeling this, the pull to be alone more, be present. You're just waking up. And in that awakening, you're disappearing to appear. You're finally meeting who you really are. So let the old self, the old spaces fall away, and let the noise of the world fade. Stay with yourself. Stay with yourself. Because the truth is, truthfully, in solitude, you disappear to appear. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you.